Okay, well, I am 99% sure that we're live right now. So we are here with Aaron, the Northwest Railfan. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me on, Drew.
Cool. Is this your first time showing your face? Is this
I'm
the
trying to remember.
deal?
Yeah, it might have been. I might have
Okay.
like a really long time ago, but yeah,
It's the unofficial face reveal.
it is.
Yeah, we'll call it
It's
that.
it's the NorDel Railroad Club exclusive.
Yeah, we're getting big if we get face reveals over here. So yeah. Well, we're having this live stream because we're talking about what it's like to be young in the hobby, because it's a question I've been asked. I don't know about you before, but I mean, when I thought about it, I was like, well, this is something that I guess a lot of guys would be pretty interested to hear. So figured why not make it into a discussion.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely a topic that comes up a lot
We're having
in
this live
various
stream
circles.
because we're
But
talking
yeah,
about what it's like to be young in the hobby, because it's the question I've been asked. It just came up, didn't it?
I think it did. I was trying to bring it up on my phone and it was like half loading. There we go.
My bad. I literally opened another tab and it, whatever. Okay, moving on. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine, Drew. Yep. Let's see. There, we have a couple people watching.
Oh yeah, we have two
Yeah.
people, two viewers. We're making it.
Nice.
One of them's you,
Good work.
so cool. Hey, Crossed Anchors Railroads, thanks for coming. I appreciate you being my one viewer besides Aaron. So we're doing good. So let's just jump right into it. How did you start in the hobby? I guess that's the first question everybody asks.
Yeah, I think let's see. Yeah, probably it would have started back when I was 3 or 4, probably. Kind of the same way I found a lot of younger modelers, probably kind of in that like 13 to 30 age range. Have it's just Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
Way back when it was still models.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, let's see. Yeah, I got a family member gave me a lifelike HO set when I think it was 5 or 6. It obviously didn't survive very long, but it was enough of an impression that I stuck with it. And I've kind of got back into it around 2011 when I was 11, almost 12. And that's kind of when I started seriously getting involved in model railroading. And I built my first layout, like actual layout, I think around 2014, probably.
Okay. Well, I mean, I started a bit different. Most people usually start with a set, but I started with a piece of plywood. My uncle's a contractor, and my parents told him that they were looking for something like a 4x6 sheet of plywood or whatever that they could sell once I got out of it. And my uncle came across one at a job one day, and he comes to the guy and he's like, "How much do you want for it?" And he's like, "Just take it. I don't want it." So we got it for free, and I'm still on it. It's just a lot nicer now. So
cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely kind of the reverse.
Yeah, it's an unusual way to get into it.
Yeah.
So are you involved in any clubs or anything?
Not presently. I haven't really been in the NMRA or anything. Right now, I'm just have my 4x8 in the garage. I'm planning to join a local club hopefully in the next year or two.
Okay.
I do help out on Saturdays at a local hobby shop, just doing register and stuff.
Okay.
That's kind of about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you're in college, right?
I am. Yeah. This is basically my 3rd year of college.
Okay. So is it easy for you? I have a couple of friends in college who model as well. Like some people have a whole bunch of room for it, and they have this long 24-foot by 6-foot modular layout, and some people have like a switching layout on the wall in their bedroom. Like, where on that scale are you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Right now I'm living at home and then commuting to school. So I do have a little bit more space, but it's just right now it's just a 4x8 that's in the garage at home. So it's kind of in between. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good place to be. I mean, a 4x8, I feel like is the size, but there's enough where you can have a yard and have operations, but it's not too big. Like it's that perfect middle.
Right. Yeah.
Middle size.
There's a lot you can do with a 4x8 and even just modifying that shape. I think model orders had some really good track plans and I've had a few 4x8 issues over the years with some interesting ideas. There's just a lot you can do in that space. Yeah.
And I saw your layout. You have that middle panel in like this is not the name, but scene separators.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just kind of like right now, it's literally just a really big piece of cardboard. I haven't gotten around to getting styrene and putting together the final one yet, but it's just kind of a mock-up version. But yeah, that definitely it allows for a little bit more variation and within a 4x8.
Yeah, because on the Model Railroader Track Plan Library, I think it's called.
Yeah,
I saw there's some pretty cool layouts where the middle is completely blocked off, and it makes it look a lot bigger, but it really doesn't take up that much space. So
yeah, definitely. I think it was the Virginian mining layout that they did several years ago was pretty similar. It had a really big kind of a scenic barrier in the middle. Allowed for a lot of operations and such. It helps a lot. Yeah, it
does. The Colorado Model Railroad Museum. Are you familiar with that?
I am. Yeah, I haven't been there unfortunately, but maybe someday.
Me neither. I want to go one day, but their layout's huge already. It doesn't need anything to make it look bigger. But like if you're looking for it, you can see there's a lot of scene separation going on, and it makes that. It's not 10,000 square feet. I think is the number.
I believe so. Yeah,
it's probably more, but it makes that look 2-3 times the size. Like it's very cool. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's no need for it there, but they make use. So so you said that you're not an NMRA guy, and I'm not either. But is there any kind of organization like that you're involved in? Any kind of college guys that you relate over this with?
Yeah, definitely. I have had over the years I've met a reasonably high amount of younger modelers, I think. Yeah, Discord. Yeah, exactly. So stuff like Discord, I have a server of kind of local guys. All of them are kind of around our age, around that kind of 13 to 24 age range. I think we have about 30, 35 members, and all of them are either active rail fans or model railroaders or both. But I have several who I've known for a little bit longer and hang out with at least a few times a year. They're not super close to me, but they're within driving distance. So we'll go hang out at train shows or Railfan or whatever. Or do ops on each other's layouts. And it's fun. Yeah.
So do you have operating sessions on your layout?
Not really, at least not yet. I've done just a couple, just informal operating sessions. But I'll definitely be planning to. Right now, track is like 90% done. So once it's totally done, I get all the bugs worked out. I'll have to have people over and get a couple of small running sessions together.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard now too, but
definitely.
Have you been to operating sessions during this? Like I've been to a couple where there's a lot of people with masks on, and I've been to one where it was 3 of us in this big layout, and we just did it without masks, and it was kind of Have you done anything like that?
I haven't yet. No, I know of the local clubs, the Boeing Employees Club that I'm hoping to join next year, maybe. They're open to an extent, but I think they're limiting everything to 2 or 3 people at a time. Their layout is it's a fairly large layout, but it's double deck and everything's kind of compressed, so there's not a lot of aisle space. So they've just been having masks and smaller numbers of people. But from what I've heard, that's been going well. And another friends club down in the Olympia area in the state capitol, just around the state capitol, they're doing a little bit of ops, but I think that's also limited because they're in kind of a basement area, so it's not ideal for social distancing.
Yeah. And what do you model, by the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I primarily model kind of local Seattle area, modern era. So it's mostly BNSF with some Amtrak and the Sounder commuter train. But I also dabble in a little bit of just other regional stuff outside of that, a little bit of 50s and 60s era, like Great Northern Pacific stuff, and a little bit of 70s, 80s Burlington Northern.
Okay, so are you a strict modeler, or are you like myself, where it's kind of non-committal? Like I'm the one Pennsylvania Railroad modeler who doesn't own any Pennsylvania Railroad locomotives. So if you had to choose that other era, other railroad, what would you choose? Or do you have one?
Yeah, that's difficult. I'm pretty non-committal. I have a little bit of everything on my roster. If I had to pick something that wasn't kind of BNSF era. I'd probably do like early Burlington Northern merger era, maybe a local branch line sort of. But there's so much to choose from. It's difficult.
You're a lot more committed to me, or committed than me. I'm sorry.
Maybe a little bit. Besides my layout, I'm definitely not.
I don't think you. Well, because I model rolling hills, and then you see a Challenger come through it, and then next you see a Mallard come through it, and it's kind of a little iffy. So
yeah.
It's
your layout. It'll be whatever is fun for you. Yeah. I have mine. I've run a little bit of stuff. I have a Weyerhaeuser steam-powered log train alongside Gevos, so
anything goes.
Just a little everywhere. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, what brands do you prefer?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a little bit of everything. I'm a little biased sometimes in my personal purchases, and I've done a few reviews for Model Railroad News, so I have kind of a varied range of brands that I've purchased. I think most of the major ones. I am a big fan of Rapido, even though I only have a couple products. But I've had the chance to meet several of their staff over the years. I met Jason Shron back in 2015 at the Portland National Show. And then last year they did the event in Portland to scan the Alco PA for their next model. I got to meet Jordan and a few other guys there. I think they're just a really personal brand. It's easy to relate to. And they make some neat stuff. Like, I'm a kind of a big Amtrak fan, so NBCU is cool. And
I mean, I don't blame you for not watching all the way through some of these hour-long interviews I do, but I don't either. But the point is, in every video, I take a dig at Jason Shron, if you're watching, that 0.1%. Would you please consider sponsoring me? My email address is in the About section, so I couldn't let this video be the one without that message in it. So
exactly. No, let's make that happen someday.
Yeah, we're ready.
We could talk to Tony Cook over at Model Railroad News and
that's what Lionel's trying. He wants to hook me up with that. Well, he made me a bet. He said, if you interview Tony Cook, I'll help you interview Jason Shron. So it's kind of in the middle right now.
Awesome. Yeah, if you can get Tony, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'll see if I can email him and just a little bit. I think Lionel has more pull than I do for sure. But yeah, you should definitely interview Tony Cook if you can.
Thank you very much. But I'm a big Rapido fan. I have 2 RDCs and 2 F40 PH-2Ds. Again, talking about how I'm very non-committal. But their stuff is just very cool. All the detail they squeeze in, like, it's definitely worth the price. Like, nobody has a whole fleet of them because they're not, but they're very nice. So
yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing the Horizons. I don't need them for my layout, but we'll see. Yeah.
I pre-ordered. I never pre-order stuff, and I pre-ordered the M420. That's great. The opening door and stuff.
That'll be really, really cool. Yeah, I've been tempted to get that, and I think that even though I'm not a Canadian molder, I think the RS18U they announced recently is really cool with the chop nose on it. Yeah. Maybe someday. But
Jason Shron has his heart set on transforming all of the North American modelers into Canadian modelers. So we'll see where that goes.
He might do it. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, talking about earlier, if there's something else, I am tempted to model BC Rail and get a couple barns in the blue Alcos. That'd be fun. But yeah,
there's these guys out there who I've never seen their collection, but they talk about it a lot, and they'll have a whole fleet of this one railroad. They'll choose this line. Like, there's 2 people I know with the Delaware and Hudson, and they have their life goal committed to getting every locomotive that the Delaware and Hudson had, no matter what it takes them. So maybe that'll be you with BC Rail. Maybe.
Yeah, I have a friend, my friend Nick's pretty into BC Rail, even though he's a BM modeler. He might convert me. We'll see. Yeah. I think the one thing that I'd be totally broke if Rapido does it is the Amtrak Cascades Talgo sets. I had one I kit bashed from the Spanish Electric Train one, but if Rapido did them, I'd probably need all 6 that existed from the Talgo Series 6. That would be expensive.
Well, I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is.
Mm-hmm. As soon as the turbo liner comes out, I'm gonna go broke over that. I don't even model
The
Amtrak.
turbo liner. I know. Jordan was mentioning it at the Portland thing, like he really wanted to do it, so I wasn't too surprised when they announced it, and I'm glad it's getting made.
Well, they announced it, and then it was like this long wait because Jason didn't think it would get any orders. So
Right. Yeah.
but
I guess
they
there's
did.
yeah. I guess there's a lot more people who wanted it than they thought.
Yeah. Well, that goes with a lot of the stuff they make, I guess.
Yeah,
they have except this M4 or not the M420. The other model they just released that was similar. It was the F59 PHI or PH. Yeah. They're having trouble getting orders on that.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was the TRE and the Metrolink ones, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was 2 short lines.
Yeah.
I was surprised about Metrolink, but I kind of makes sense that the TRE one's kind of lagging behind.
Yeah. Metrolink. It seems like the Athearn cars, whenever they make them, sell out almost immediately. So you'd think the F59 PHIs would do, or PHs would do well, but yeah.
Rapido needs to make a PHI too.
They should. I'd need every Amtrak Cascades one and maybe every Sounder F59 PHI.
That's the one model that I'm surprised there's not many quality ones of, because Athearn's doing one, but it's only their basic line. It's not super detailed or anything. And
right. Yeah, I think that was one of the first, if not the first, ready to roll model. Around 2001, 2002, I think is when they made it.
I feel like there's been a lot of those that kind of just are toys and not really full-blown, super detailed models out there.
Yeah, I think that's, besides the Overland Brass one, I think the Athearn Ready to Roll is the only F59 PHI we've had.
And I don't have the wallet for the brass one, so Athearn's right now.
Yeah, it's weird too, because if you look at them, there's a lot of really minor variations in the PHIs, oddly enough. But if Rapido did it, I think it would sell.
They do all of them. That would be a Dan Darnell project. He's the only one who devotes himself so much to all these prototype-specific projects. He did the 1200s, which he talks about regretting, and then the RS8, the RS11s with all the road-specific detail and stuff. He took that on. This would be something for him.
Yeah, those are ambitious. There's so many little variations on all of those.
And they're doing them too, so I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Either do really well, or they're going to be one of the ones where Jason's like, that wasn't a bad idea, but it wasn't great. Like he has those moments sometimes during interviews where he just kind of goes out and he's like, I wouldn't have done that a second time, but I don't regret it.
Yes, I feel like I always get the turbos backward. The turbo train is the VIA one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if he didn't need a better one, he probably wouldn't make one. But I think he needs several of them now. So
well, they made the N scale one because that was I forget the guy's name, but that was his dying wish, was for them to make that in I think it was Canadian National.
Right. Yeah.
I forget the guy's name.
Looks like we have another question if you want to take a look at that.
Oh yeah. What do you think would bring more youngsters into the hobby? That's a great question. I think
it is. Yeah.
For a lot of people, a lot of kids just have trouble saving up money. Like, not because they can't do it, just because they don't have the attention span. To be honest, like a lot of people just kind of blow their money. I don't know. There's only so much you can do, really. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good point. The hobby shop I help out on the weekends, we sell a lot of used stuff. It's probably 70% of our sales. And we get a lot of younger modelers kind of around our age or younger who pick up older blue box kits. We have a lot of those, or just Tyco cars. I think definitely having hobby shops have that available of having the lower end stuff used and for reasonable prices, not the inflated $20 for a Tyco car at a train show. I think that helps a lot. But I think,
No, sorry.
Okay. But I think there are a lot more younger modelers in the hobby than we know of or think of. Yeah. It seems like every Saturday we have someone like in the 10 to 12 age range come in with their parents for the first time or second time, who I haven't met before. And I'm always amazed how many more younger modelers. But I think I'd have to say we have our regulars who are older in that kind of 60s age range, but probably half are in kind of that 12 to 30 age range on a Saturday. So
that's a good way of putting it. Like, there are probably more than we think, because I wasn't brought up going to train shows. I never really did. So I can see, I'm probably not the only one who was like that. So I do think there's more than people realize. But I also was kind of brought into it, go into my hobby shop, and I would buy old Bachmann China stuff. And I still have it.
Definitely.
It doesn't really work anymore, but
yeah, that's kind of how I started too. So basically the first train set I got back into the hobby with was like a Bachmann set with their 060. I think it was from a Costco actually. And then from there, I bought kind of some more used stuff at train shows, and then the hobby shop that I help out at now. I've been going there for about 9 years now, since I was 11. So just kind of building up that cheaper stuff. And as you get older, you'll probably have more money and less time. So you'll have a little bit more to invest into buying new stuff, but probably a little bit less time to actually work on projects or build a layout.
That's true, because as soon as, I don't know if you went through this too, but as soon as kind of high school comes and you get involved in sports and that kind of stuff, time really decreases. And then, of course, college, you have a job. So that's going to take a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There was a year or so in high school where I didn't get too much done in the hobby at all. I think maybe I went to the hobby shop a couple times that year and didn't really work on the layout at all. But it kind of just comes and goes as you have time, depending on life change and everything.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Drew.
I have to confess. So my local hobby shop, they're really focused towards used stuff, and they don't really stock DCC and sound stuff, DCC at all. They have some decoders sitting in this case, but not really much else. So I go with Train World a lot of the time for my stuff, which for a lot of people with their hobby shop that has everything, seems like I'm just supporting the corporation, but it's kind of really my only option.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think on our end too, it's kind of the same thing. We have some DCC and we have a lot of newer models as well, but we definitely don't have quite the selection of DCC that a lot of the online companies do. But one thing I'd suggest, if you have a local hobby shop and have something that you'd want to order from online, check with the owner or manager, whoever, and have them see if they can get it from one of their wholesalers. We get the majority of our stuff from Walthers, and they have their dealer rates are pretty much the same across the board. So there's a good chance that the online retailer you're buying from, unless they buy it directly from the manufacturers, which I know like MB Klein and Model Train stuff, they do that, I believe. But they'll probably be getting a similar discount rate, and your local hobby shop might be able to get you a pretty similar price once you figure in shipping.
That's the other thing. MB Klein's, I still buy from them because they do have good deals, but I just feel like their selection's gone down just a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's been weird, but definitely looking through their website in the past year or so, I think I'd have to say the same thing. I know they stopped carrying scale trains, I believe, because of something with their dealer system. So I'm not sure, 'cause they made that transition from having an in-person store to not, if I remember correctly.
I think they even lost customers to that too.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember, because it was probably about a year ago, right? Yeah, I think it sounded like they're doing kind of like a pickup system, which I guess would work well with COVID now. But I'm sure they lost people if there's another hobby shop nearby that's an alternative.
Yeah, like I definitely don't support the decision, but I don't turn my back to them because of it. So Yeah, I've ordered from them a few times recently. I can't really complain, but it's definitely an interesting business decision. But whatever allows them to stay in business and just continue to be that resource. Yeah, really competitive now too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it seems like there's between eBay and everything, there's a lot of online retailers for model railroad stuff.
Yeah, and even with manufacturers too, like everything's so expensive. You don't spend a fortune to make a fortune with model trains. It's just you kind of spend a fortune to break even anymore. So
right. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I've heard it said to make $1 million in model railroading, start with 2. So we'll see. I know the hobby shops that are around, I think will probably be around a while since they've managed to stay around and their business model is probably working unless they're hemorrhaging money. But I don't know. I know like Caboose in Colorado, there's something kind of off there. I'm not sure what's going on, but they've had kind of a weird situation the last year or two. But we'll see. I think there's new hobby shops that open, some that close, but we'll see. Yeah.
I don't see it getting too much worse because with all the inflation and that kind of stuff that's happened, I don't know. I don't think it could get as bad as quick as it has gotten in the past 50 years or so. But nobody knows. Like I guarantee you, nobody or people were saying the same thing that I'm saying right now in 1950. So
yeah,
1950, the model trains. I don't even know, but you get the point.
I think that was kind of the peak of Lionel right around there. I think just right after World War II. So I think I was talking to the owner at the local hobby shop I've helped out at, and like he said, they've been saying the hobby's been dying since he started when he was my age. So if it hasn't died in the last 40, 50 years, I have a hard time believing it's going to die. Yeah.
We have another question from Andy. Based on your answers to my first question, do you think the cost of membership or the lack of perceived value puts younger people off from joining the NMRA? I'm going to go with both. To be honest.
Yeah. I have strong thoughts considering the NMRA, but if you want to go ahead first, Drew.
I mean, I'm fully backing Gordy Robinson right now, but I mean, I'm not. Maybe if he wins president, I'll join NMRA. You can tell him that, but
I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
The NMRA.
I don't get it. Like, you're not. They say support the hobby. I'm like, how? Like they standardize it, and that's very important. But I don't know. It's just
it's difficult. I fail to see much value for anyone our age, and I have a difficult time seeing how that would provide value to older modelers even. Last night I looked a little bit through the NMRA standards page. I've not super thoroughly, mostly just the DCC section. I was surprised, but also not surprised to find that almost everything that was set there was set at least 5 years ago or more, besides a couple really minor updates. And a lot of the more recent DCC changes, like the 21 pin plug, I don't think the NMRA had anything to do with the 21 pin plug, as far as I know.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like it was very important, maybe even 10 years ago when DCC was still getting developed and everything was still getting standardized. But now that companies are judged off of being the same as another company, I feel like the NMRA can deal more with just getting people into the hobby than maintaining the standards, because it's like the golden standard now. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time since there's been anything super innovative that they've done besides the initial kind of start to DCC. And by now, I think that's probably 15 to 20 years ago, primarily. So I don't know, standards wise. And then what else is there that they've advertised recently?
They try to get people into the hobby, and they hold train shows and photo contests. Like, I don't know. Like, it's never really appealed to me.
Right. Yeah. How active is your local NMRA division?
I don't really hear about it. Like, I know people who are very into the NMRA. They give clinics and they try to convince me to join. And I'm like, oh, well, what do you get? And they're like, oh, you support the hobby. I'm like, well, I buy engines. I'm supporting my hobby shop and my manufacturer, but I don't know. Like, they do stuff. You can see they do standards, but it was all 5 years ago, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's difficult. And I think it seems like the NMRA, at least from the organization perspective, I don't know membership wise, but they've shrunk a lot. I think a lot of that was to try and save money so they wouldn't go under. But yeah, like my local division, I don't know how active they are, and I don't, as far as I know, I don't think they're that large. I think there's a lot more club participation, and as far
Uh-huh.
as I know, not really any of our local clubs are NMRA affiliated, except maybe I think there's the 40 modular groups. That there's an N scale and an HO one. They're both NMRA affiliated. Outside of that, I don't know of any. And I don't know. And I haven't really had much interaction with their groups, and they don't have any local shows they put on or anything that's their show specifically.
Hmm.
So it's difficult. I think outreach wise, it varies. It'll probably vary a lot between divisions. I've seen some on Facebook that it seems like what they're doing is really impressive and probably has a good chance of promoting the hobby to younger people or new people. And then a lot, but I feel like that's probably not the majority of NMRA divisions.
Yeah, mine's kind of. Now, there's people out there who probably know a lot more about this than I do, who are in my region, and they're going to reach out to me and be like, you should have said this. But from what it's been marketed to me as, it's kind of just train shows. Like our
Yeah.
club's listed on the website, but there's really, I don't have any personal connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think outside of that, I'm trying to remember what else, but I think conventions are kind of a big selling point for them.
Yeah.
But most younger modelers, especially college age, aren't going to be spending $2,000 to go travel halfway across the country and stay the entire week for all the clinics for the convention, and then go spend more money at the national show. I went to the national show in Portland for the weekend once a few years ago. I mean, it was a good show, but really it was fairly comparable to the World's Greatest Hobby on Tour show, kind of in the size. But yeah, I don't know. I think besides the layouts and kind of the gathering, I don't know.
Yeah. That's what Andy's saying. It's Gordy's really trying to make a difference. Like I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join if he gets president. I'll join. I'll make that promise. But
absolutely,
right now,
I'd have to agree. Yeah, I think the NMRAX streams is the best thing the NMRA has done in the last 20 years or more. Yeah, that's the only NMRA vaguely related thing that I participated in within the last decade, besides attending the national show in 2015. Just because of how accessible that was. I think that's kind of how Gordy promoted it. It absolutely is. And just the quality and magnitude that he provided through that was really impressive.
I was going to reach out to him for an interview, Facebook Messenger, and then I look up Gordy Robinson on Facebook, and there's like 4 Gordy Robinsons, and none of them really post a lot. So I'm to reach out to any of them because I don't know which one he is.
Yeah, I think maybe look at the NMRA page. I think or the NMRA group, because I think he's a group admin. You should be able to find him through that. Yeah, or let Lionel know, because I think he has contact info.
Oh well, Lionel knows everybody, so
he does basically everyone in the entire hobby at this rate,
or could get their contact information really quick. So
yes, yeah. What is it? It's the number of degrees from Kevin Bacon. Now it'll be the number of degrees from Lionel Strang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I was talking to Heath from Humanity Junction yesterday, and he was he's saying this is smaller than a lot of other hobbies out there, but at the same time, there's everybody just wants to share with each other, and the fact that some people get really successful at that makes you really want to step back and think, like, it's really not that big. But the people who get out there and just talk to other people and post it on the internet, they get really successful. So
absolutely, yeah. I think that kind of goes into Lionel Strang's how big social medias can make the hobby and makes it so much closer together. I met a guy a couple weeks ago who came into our store, and he was just so excited to find another hobby. I guess he said he was involved. He's involved in like pocket knife collecting. He said like Facebook and such has made that a much tighter community and easier to find people in the same hobby. And that has to be more niche than model railroading, I think. Because I don't know of any pocket knife swap meets or shows in my area, but just kind of that same idea of just being able to make small hobbies, or at least what we can perceive as small hobbies, just much easier to find people to relate to about it. Okay,
he says, and you need to join in order to vote for him. The British region. So we're each in the United States. Is the NMRA?
Yeah.
Is there like a British NMRA, or is it like a single? Should it be the NMRA, the International NMRA?
It should be. It should be the International Motor Railroad Association, because I believe there's an Australia division too. But yeah, the British region, they have their own region, and I think Canada has multiple regions. I think 3 or 4, but
The
yeah,
US
basically
5, I think.
Yeah,
4 or 5.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's somewhere between 5 and 10, I think.
Yeah, they make up one. Like there's mid-Atlantic, and then there's northeast, southeast, and we're kind of in the border of that. And there's guys that I know who live in my direct area who go northeast, middle east, southeast, and I'm like, well, why would you have that many individual spots? So
yeah, I think where you're at, there's a lot more. My area, I think it's just the 4th division, as far as I know. But then there's also kind of sections of the 4th division, like there's the British Columbia one up in Canada, and then kind of the Washington, Oregon division. But yeah.
Are you in Canada?
No, I'm basically like 20 minutes south of Seattle. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
From where I'm at, it's roughly 2 to 3 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm very close to Canada. I've never been there though. I need to get around to that eventually.
Cool.
Yep.
Oh, Andy
okay, yeah,
says
thanks, Andy. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Wow, we kind of walked right into that.
Yeah, I was gonna check. Let's see. I had some notes about the NMRA that I wrote down and forgot what I wrote.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they've been promoting kind of that social aspect a lot, which I think can be a benefit, but also social media seems to have taken over that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as important to bond over the internet on this one website when you can do it anywhere. So,
yeah. Yep, here we are talking. I'm all the way on the other side of the country. So
yeah, I don't think I've interviewed a single person within maybe 1,000 miles of me. Well, I did Heath yesterday, but I did Michelle, Lionel Strang in Canada, John Abaticola in San Francisco. Like none of these people are within arm's reach of me. Oh, and now you're in Chicago-ish area, you know? So
Seattle. No, you're fine.
I'm sorry. I think I have like early onset dementia sometimes.
That's very early onset then. Oh no.
Very early. Yeah, I have like 5 more years to live. Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's bad. This turned really dark really quick. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Completely switching gears. Can we go to brands again? Like we talked about Rapido.
Yeah.
This is kind of how that started. But are there any other brands that you're loyal to?
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think. I kind of buy generally whoever makes something that I can actually have a use for. Sort of in my area, and then I end up buying a lot that's not. And I do buy a lot of used stuff.
Sparky's here.
Hey, Sparky, how's it going?
Hey, we're gonna post the StreamYard link in like 2 seconds, so like, stick with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I bought kind of a fair amount of Scale Train stuff over the last few years too. I think it's a cool brand, and they've been doing some really kind of innovative and unique things. And I think really kind of forcing that level of detail forward a little bit.
That's what in my opinion, Rapido has been my like #1 choice innovator, but Broadway Limited, though they have a 30% failure rate, I do like their stuff.
They have some really neat models. Yeah, I know a friend of mine has one of their upcoming Northern Pacific 484s on order. They have some really neat stuff. Yeah.
I have a Challenger, and Sparky has a thing to say about his big boy. But I sent mine down to get repaired, and it came back and it works now. But 10-week repair queues aren't really something you're looking forward to when you get a new expensive locomotive. So.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, at least their repair guys won't be unemployed anytime soon.
That's true. Well, it has a double meaning to it, doesn't it?
Oh no.
Yeah. Cool. Well, are you okay opening up the link
Yeah,
to our
definitely.
3 viewers? One of which I think is you. So
It probably is. Yep.
yeah. I think it's just that. Cool. Come on in if you're looking camera ready. But yeah. This has been a lot better going than I thought it would. I thought my internet was going to cut out because yesterday my internet was so bad. I was talking to Heath and I had to move halfway through. And I
Oh
sat
no.
my laptop on top of my knee and I was just holding it as steady as I could so that it would be like of my face and not my chin. That was very awkward.
That's not fun. Yeah. So now we'll know why it randomly cuts halfway through the interview and changes.
Well, yeah. I don't even know how much of it we talked for like an hour, and of that, I don't know how much is gonna make it. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. It's editing can work wonders.
Yeah. Sparky's busy. Cool. Just say.
Yeah.
Next time. I don't even know. Gotta stream more often. It's kind of fun. You don't have to worry about editing. You don't need to keep saying, "Oh, we'll cut that out." You can just kind of keep talking and don't worry about it. So
yeah, definitely. Maybe sometime we'll see if we can get a few of the guys I know kind of around our age to come on and talk, and maybe we should go a little more in depth sometime. Yeah, it'd be cool to do a panel. Get Lionel Strang to host.
Oh my god. Honestly, like that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
It would. That'd be fun. Yeah.
We need to make like a group chat and have Lionel Strang in it, and like it'll just be 8 people he doesn't know, like all just strings of numbers. He's gonna text back. He's like, "Is this a prank call?" Like, oh,
hey,
what's happening? I'm not sure, but we're having a chat about something, but we keep kind of forgetting what that something is and talking about other things. So yeah,
we'll remember eventually.
Yeah. We'll remember one day.
Yep. Are there any specific areas of the hobby that you're involved in more so than others, or?
To be honest, like, what do you mean? Like, what do I like to do better, or?
Yeah. Either way.
I like to do wiring, or at least that's what I kind of end up doing more than not.
Okay.
Heath says you're in control, so if you don't know, we all are in trouble. I don't know. There's
That's true. Oh no.
If you're looking camera ready, Heath, come on in. And Andy, I don't know. I've never seen Andy before. Come on too. But I always end up doing wiring because I don't know. That's just so. My club, which is NorDel, which is the name of this channel, maybe to be rebranded to I don't want to disassociate myself, but
right.
I want to make it something a little bit more generic sounding because I don't know. I feel like calling it a model railroad club. A lot of clubs have like these very boring channels, so maybe kind of just rename it a little bit, but still keep you get it. So. We were working on the modular layout, and there were guys doing track work and scenery, and I was just kind of under the table, and I went around doing the bus line, and then I started doing feeder wires, and kind of just turned into the wiring guy. And on my own layout, I kind of enjoyed the wiring, so there you go. I like making control panels for some reason.
Wow. Yeah, that's complicated.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it. It's only complicated if you do it right. I kind of make it look like a rat's nest, but only nice from the front. So there you go.
As long as it doesn't catch fire, it'll be good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if I have short detection on my. So it's never happened before, but we're gonna hope it doesn't happen. What about you?
So. Yeah. I don't know. I think I enjoy scenery a lot, kit bashing, and kind of just the rolling stock side. Wiring is definitely my least favorite part of the hobby, I think, besides bench work. But yeah, I'm definitely more into the detail side.
Sparky has to go, so Thank you for commenting, Sparky. I appreciate it. Thank you for being one of our 4 viewers. It's
yes,
making a difference. Cool. Well, oh, I'm just kidding. Random comments, aren't I? Huh. I am too old to come on, Drew, and ugly. Humanity and Sparky are far more presentable than am I. Oh, come on. One day we're gonna get you in here. I'll tell you what. I'll join the NMRA if Gordy wins. So if Gordy wins, you need to come on a live stream sometime. I'll make that bet with you.
There you go. I think that's fair. Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of comments at once. Heath says, "Call it Drew at NorDel RR." That's a good idea.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Interviews on Apple Podcasts soon, and I know a name to call it because I'll brand the interviews as. So I have no idea. I'm gonna call it Drew at NorDel RR, but that's a really good idea for the podcast name. I don't even know. I just kept saying name and podcast too many times in one sentence.
It'll make sense eventually.
Yeah, one day we'll call it the Name Podcast Show. Podcast Name Show. That's good.
Perfect.
He says we have 4 thumbs up and 5 viewers, so that's good. The YouTube algorithm's happy. It just doesn't see us yet. So
true. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm is interesting.
That's why Patreon got so
that makes sense. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll connect you with a few guys. Do you know Jonah from BNSF Guy 617 on YouTube?
I don't. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you might have seen his stuff. He has an HO out and has a lot of Missouri stuff.
I've probably seen it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's around. So maybe I'll connect you with him and you can interview him sometime. He's closer to our age too. And I know he's also not a huge fan of the NMRA. So.
Andy Ambrose says, say Jason Shron again. Jason Shron. I don't know if you watch the interviews all the way through. I don't blame you because I don't either. But I put a Jason Shron counter and I put it in the Lionel Strang interview and I'm putting it in the one I just did with Heath. So maybe if I don't know if you can edit a live stream, but if you can bet that I'm going to put a Jason Shron counter in the interview.
You could put how many times we said Jason Shron, like pin it as the comment on the bottom, maybe.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to go through and watch this.
That'll be a lot. Oh no. If you ever interview him, that's going to be a lot of work in editing.
That's going to be a long interview, man. That's going to be like
it will.
12 hours long.
Yeah. You need to get Jordan on too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, so take a guess. Let's take a guess at the end. How many times do you think we will or have said Jason Shron by the end of this interview?
Ooh. That's a good question. You just said it again.
Oh, shut up. I do not sleep on a Jason Shron pillow.
No.
Too hard for me. I sleep on an F40PH-2D model, but not the pillow. So, yeah.
You know, Keith, I do have a Rapido Trains glasses wipe. I need to find it, though.
Glasses
They had a
wipe?
bunch of them. Yeah, they had a bunch of them made. I don't think they have them anymore. But he had just a pile, like a whole basket of them, I think, at the Portland National Show in 2015. And he was literally just, like, handing them to everyone who walked past who was wearing glasses.
Wow.
Yeah, so he just, like, threw it at me. It was great. Yeah, I need to find it.
You could just give it to anybody and call it a tissue. Or what is it?
Exactly.
That's a fancy tissue. Cloth
They
tissue.
could get the very fancy pocket handkerchief with the Rapido logo on it now.
We have one guess with how many times we said Jason Shron. It's 22. By the end, I guarantee you it's going to be like, my guess is that we're going to say it. Like, I'm always surprised how many times it gets said. I'm going to go with like 30. Around.
Yeah. It's a lot. I feel like Andy's about right. I was going to say maybe like 25 at this point, but I don't know. I'll have to go back through and count.
Jason's going to find this channel and he's going to be like, what is this? It's so weird. Oh
You'll
my
accidentally start the Jason Shron cult or something.
Yeah, we need to call this channel the official home of the Rapido Trains fan club. That's what I guarantee you that'll show up somewhere else. I need to make video. I do blooper reels sometimes. I need to make a Jason Shron compilation, and it'll just be 4 minutes of people saying Jason Shron over and over. Oh my god!
You should do it. Yeah, there you go. That can be that's your 100 subscriber special. It's just Jason Shron hundreds of times.
Oh my god! We lost 2 viewers while we were talking about saying Jason Shron. Oh well. Are you one of the viewers?
I think I am still. Yeah, I'll close it and see if that does anything. But yeah,
we lost Keith or Andy, so oh well. Bye anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure more people will see it when we're done and after it's posted, and they'll be even more confused.
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, because they can't see the replay of how many views it has at the time of.
That's true, probably. And so I think there's
watching this 1 year later. I apologize very sincerely for your confusion. 50 minutes in, I don't know who's gonna be 50 minutes into this at all, but I appreciate you if you are. So there we go.
Yeah. Hopefully by then you'll have interviewed like half of every model railroader ever.
Yeah. What do we have? 7 billion people. Let me just do a quick Google search. What percentage of the population is a model railroader? It's not much, but I feel like we might get something.
Yeah.
1.2 million model railroaders. Okay, that's a number. So what did you say?
Yeah.
So I have 500,000 interviews to do by this time next year.
Oh no.
Really quick. Wow. I got my work ahead of me, so.
That's like at least 1,200 interviews a day, probably.
So how many? So 24 hours a day. 24 divided by 1,200. Oh wow! I'm so sorry to anybody watching this. I have to do 20 interviews an hour. 3 interviews. Oh my god! Every interview I do is going to be 3 minutes long. That's assuming I never sleep, eat, or use the bathroom for the next year. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, I need to practice first. We'll take a practice year, and then we'll do the 500,000 interview year. So.
There we go.
Oh my god! I don't even know where this went. I did not expect this.
No. Now you have a very ambitious goal.
I do. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to meet it, but we'll try. I'll get really religious. I need some otherworldly power.
That's true. Yeah, you could have the entire NMRA board on. I'm sure that would go wonderfully.
Oh my god. We can have a NMRA election debate on here. That would go very interesting.
It would. Yeah.
But I do think it would be cool to have Gordy on. So
it would, yeah. You should definitely try to do that. I know there's a really big time zone difference, but if Lionel can make it work, I'm sure you could figure something out.
Wait, where's Lionel? I thought he was in Toronto.
He's in Toronto. I think Gordy is in Scotland or something.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do it. The UK is 6 hours ahead. So Andy Amber says both me and Jason are characters. So and just posted I'm hitting comments. Just posted your chat on the NMRA Facebook site. Mega more people popping in. Well, you can tell them about our live NMRA debate that we're gonna have here. It's gonna be one day. But where's this conversation gone? I said that.
I don't know. Oh no.
True. I did not expect it to go like this. I thought we were gonna have this like half an hour conversation about being young in the hobby and all like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it went totally off the rails after around 20 minutes.
Yeah. We kind of just started talking about Gordy and the NMRA, so.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Andy Ambrose, I was on one show, I think it was John's 4-hour live stream. And yeah, I set the record. That's the one record I've set ever. But we made it. It was me and Sparky and John, and Keith was there, and that was quite a night. I was up till like 11:30 my time.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of live streaming.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to find out which Gordy Robinson is out of the 5 Gordy Robinsons on the Gordy Robinson search on Facebook. So that'll be
Hey,
quite a
there we
challenge.
go. I think it looks like Andy already is working on that for you.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah,
Uh-oh.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Gordy has already agreed to come on. You just need to contact him. He is passionate about. That's what I thought you said, but I didn't want to say that you asked him if you didn't, because I didn't understand the language. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Andy, which Gordy is he? Like, I'm really sorry for making you do this, but like, you have a link? Because I Googled it, and it was like 4 Gordy Robinsons. I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Thank you very much, but I have no idea which Gordy Robinson he is. I'll email the one that looks the most Scottish.
That works. I think he has an NMRA email too, but I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure you can find him eventually.
Yeah. Wow, this is okay. Back to brands for like
Yeah.
the 4th time. So, do you exclusively do diesel, or do you kind of lean towards steam?
Yeah, I have almost entirely diesel. Just a few steam engines and only one that's DCC right now. But I
Okay.
do really like steam, especially when it comes to riding trains.
Yeah. I got this $50 Hornby tender-driven Mallard, which is that streamlined Pacific bullet-looking
Yeah.
thing. And I didn't know it was tender-driven until I got it. And I put it on my track. And it was great. Like, it works. But I was planning on putting the decoder in the sorry, yeah, I have asked him. I have put links to Gordy in this chat above.
Let's see.
Oh, you know what? I think you need to go. Okay. I'll go back through and look at it. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah, I don't see it, but hopefully you can find it.
I think I need to make you a screwdriver. That's why. I'll do that tonight. I forget how to do that, but I'll make it happen.
Oh, yeah, the YouTube admin stuff.
Yeah. I don't even know how that works, but I'll figure that out tonight. I think on the replay I could probably watch it. So
okay.
Cool. But while we're talking, I'll try to find it. So but yeah, I like what Broadway Limited does with Steam. Rapido's Royal Hudson looked spectacular. It really is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was cool. I was kind of tempted to get one, even though I have no use for it.
Oh, yeah. No. The only problem I've had with that is it while we're talking, I'll try to find it.
Whoa.
So but yeah, I like what I'll go back through and I was trying to see if I could just go, but my tabs don't let me mute. My
That's
computer.
Weird. Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. I'll find it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But the only thing with the Rapido Royal Hudson, the mechanical problems.
Right. Yeah.
The decoders and the chuff sensor and the eccentric crank. The motors kind of had a little bit of a problem going on, I think, or maybe it could have just been the decoder itself. But their next coreless motor project is the M420, and Jason seems really confident about that. So
okay,
with your order.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think they had some issues with the RS11, RS18, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
So my thing about that was, are the RS18 and the RS11 the same motor decoder setup? Because I'm pretty sure they weren't, but I was just hesitant to buy one because I didn't know if they were. Because they came out in the same factory, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I feel like I forget which one had the motor issues. I think there was enough time they managed to change it.
But I didn't know if the RS11
I'm not sure. And they've done multiple runs at this point, I think, too. So, yeah, I'm not too certain about that.
Okay. They've done multiple runs with the RS11?
Or I think it was the RS18 they've had 2 runs, right? Or is it just one so far?
I think it's
can't
just
remember.
The RS18 was definitely
that
was the first run of the RS18.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about the RS11. I've only been following Rapido closely for like a year or two now.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are both. It might just be one, and I think there's another run that's supposed to arrive eventually.
Wow. I wonder how many hours have I spent talking about Jason Shron on this channel.
You'll have to time it all.
Yeah, I need to. I'm going for a second world record. We hit the record on John's channel, so now we need to hit the Jason Shron talk time record. It's gonna happen.
You could talk to Jason Shron about talking about Jason Shron.
That's gonna happen one day, and he's gonna be completely weirded out by it.
It will, but you should get Shane from Scale Trains too. That'd be neat.
Oh yeah. Do you know how to contact him?
I don't.
Yeah.
I have emailed him a couple times, but it's been a while.
Do you just contact us page it, or?
I think so. Yeah, I had his email address. That's back when he was doing more direct customer service stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's what I don't know. I always contact us pages are my worst enemy. Whenever I'm trying to interview somebody,
Right.
I've got some people through it, and I've gotten like their email or their phone number or whatever. But contact us pages are not good at all. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You could get. Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. Yeah. You could get the CEO from Walthers, maybe. I think she was on another live stream or something. I can't remember what it was. But
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's all these people, and Lionel Strang was pulling my leg about it too. He's like, "Why don't you just reach out to these people?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They're too big." And he's like, "Just do it." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel because I've reached out to some people on YouTube, like medium-sized people. I don't want to say names because that would just be rude, but you don't hear back from them, you know? So I didn't assume that the big people like Jason or Tom or I don't know the Walters lady's name, but I know of her, you know?
Right.
I didn't know to respond. But I mean, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think a lot of them, it'll depend on the company and who they are, but I think some will be willing to. So I think the worst thing you could do is not ask, probably. So
that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I've emailed a lot of people, and I realized I wasn't getting interviews out. I record an interview every weekday this week because I had 7 interviews queued up, and I was looking at my channel, and I'm like, I have 3 interviews posted, and that's it. So I'm really trying to put something out this week. So
cool. Yeah. So it's just that editing time mostly, and getting it posted. True. Okay.
Especially with. I'm trying to do interviews from here from now on just because my internet's a lot better. But where I was with Heath the other day, I'm going to spend a lot of time doing audio for that because it just how spotty my internet was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Invite me. The other guy, his name's Everett or Emmett. One of those is wrong. One of those is probably right. But he's super nice. I reached out to him. He's from Dynamo Productions. He's the guy behind that.
Okay.
And he's never really showed his face before. I don't really know. I've never seen his face. But he was really nice. He's kind of our age-ish, probably maybe a couple years ahead of you. But he's an engineer. He works on the railroad. And he's on call. So he was like, I'm not sure I could do an interview, but I could send one of my people to do an interview, you know, one of his managers. I think it's bigger than most people assume because I believe they do like DVD stuff, like digital.
Okay.
I think I'm not definite, but I know there's more to it than just YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. So that's cool.
They haven't done a photo charter in a while. If they do one, I'm definitely gonna go to it.
Okay. Yeah, photo charters are cool. I wish we had more out this direction. Like the Mount Rainier Scenic Railroad used to do it a lot years ago, but it's been a long time.
Are you familiar with the Strasburg Railroad?
I am, yeah. Yeah, actually I have a kind of a friend. That's a whole nother thing is NRHS Rail Camp. But yeah, I have a friend I met through that who works for them. You
went to that?
I did, 2016-17 out here. I never did the East Coast one, unfortunately, but.
Oh, you went to I want to do that. So I don't really talk about where I live online a lot, but because I say Hockessin because that's where the club is and I'm around that.
Okay.
But really, I'm 5 minutes away from the hotel where that takes place at.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading the information and it's like, oh, well, you need to bring everything with you. You can't leave without permission. And I'm like, why is this so crazy? Like, we're all kind of, we can drive and whatever. And then I look at it and I'm reading people write like articles about what it was. And they're like, I
Yeah.
traveled all the way from Texas. And I'm like, oh, it's that. So I
Yeah.
really didn't realize
Yeah.
it was a nationwide thing. There were only like 50 spots a year between the two camps. And
Right.
then it clicked, and I'm like, oh, it's not just for people who live in Delaware.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, yeah, the 2 years I went to the one here in Tacoma. That's like half an hour drive for me. And out of everyone there, I think I was one of like 2 or 3 people within a few hours drive. Everyone else from like they'd gone to the one on the East Coast in Delaware, and then flown over, or they were from a couple guys from Milwaukee area. So, yeah, people go to rail camp from very varied places.
but it's kind of weird. Like, you think about people's opinions and how they see that. I never realized that Amtrak's nationwide mechanical thing was in Wilmington. And I didn't realize that their nationwide training thing was that concrete building next to I-95. Because maybe twice a week I get stuck in traffic there and I just look out the window and that's what I see. And I never realized that had any sort of significance. I just thought it was an office building that was built so people would have entertainment during a traffic jam, you know? Like, never thought that.
That makes sense. It seems like those buildings would just blend in a lot. But that's cool.
Because it is kind of hidden the way it is. It's in the middle of a marsh.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but if you ever have the chance to go to rail camp, maybe apply to the one out here too. It'd be a little different from what you're used to saying, but it's a lot of fun. And
yeah, maybe I'll try it junior year because I don't know. They canceled it this year. I don't know if they're gonna have it this coming year, but they saved all the people who were in it last year a spot for the next one, so I wouldn't count on getting into it. So that would just leave me junior and senior year. So
yeah. Let me know if you do go, because I know several of the volunteers pretty well. So
yeah,
they're awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's the Washington one like? Because the East Coast one's all about Amtrak and Wilmington facility, and none of that stuff I knew existed until like, I don't know, 2 months ago. But tell me about the Washington one.
Yeah, the Washington one, it's kind of similar. It is a day longer, or at least it has been in the years past.
Okay.
But typically the usual week is Monday. You'll usually end up going to the Seattle Amtrak facility in King Street, which is really neat. That's one of my favorite days, I think. You get to tour the maintenance facility and coach yard up there, which it's a fairly large facility. That's kind of the regional base for Amtrak outside of California on the West Coast. And then Tuesday, I think typically is Tacoma Rail, which is a local short line down at the Port of Tacoma. They're kind of roughly trying to think of something that compares to Tacoma Rail. It's kind of just a typical short line. I think they have 3 divisions currently. You'll get to actually participate in a lot of their operations, kind of shadow crews and go in there. They have a kind of a smaller dispatch tower that that overlooks the yard, and you get to go tour that and learn a little bit about how they run that, and even occasionally get to operate equipment, which is pretty cool. And then I think it's that Tuesday night, there's a fairly large layout at the Washington State History Museum down in Tacoma that models kind of this region sort of in like the early 50s. And typically you'll go and do a full operating session for about an hour and a half down there. And that's a lot of fun.
An hour and a half for an operating session?
Yep.
That's the first for me.
Yeah, it's pretty small. Usually they'll kind of split it.
Was it OCL?
It's HO.
Oh, I thought you just said it was really large.
It's a large layout. I forget how many square feet. It's partially double deck.
Okay.
But it basically models everything from kind of around Tacoma to Seattle. A lot of it's staging, but it's a reasonably large layout that I think usually they'll have about 10 to 20 operators for their large sessions, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm used to like 4 or 5 hour operating sessions, you know? Right.
Yeah. I think typically they do operating sessions that long, but they condense it a lot just for that. So they can get the entire group of 12 rail camp people through.
Are there a lot of modelers who go to that, or is it kind of just?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
kind of just a lot of people our age. I think the majority are model railroaders to an extent. And it's a cool way to meet a lot of other people your age that aren't local to you. And I'm still in touch with a pretty good number of them, which is neat.
So you're really close to the Washington one, right?
Yeah. Yep. I'm about half an hour drive.
And I'm close to the East Coast one. So you know all the destinations. They take you on the West Coast one. I know all the destinations on the East Coast one. And have you seen the YouTube videos that people make of their experiences with that?
A little bit. Yeah, I have a couple up. Mine aren't great and they're pretty short, but yeah, I have a few friends who went who I think posted stuff. But yeah.
And do you watch it? And since they're not from around there, they'll take photos of things that to you are pretty minuscule, but in their video, they're like, "Look at this! It's an Amish buggy." Like,
absolutely.
Me, I go around, and I'm really close. I live in an area where it's very city to in the middle of nowhere. There's not a huge amount of space between that, so you can kind of just take a half an hour drive, and there's an Amish buggy right there.
Right.
But to somebody on YouTube who's from Texas, they're like, "Oh my God, it's an alien!" Like, do you see anything like that with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to remember. A lot of it was like our local town names, since a lot of them are derived from Native American words. They're basically impossible to pronounce without living here for 20 years.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember. It's been a few years, but I'm sure there were a lot of little things like that.
Okay.
Especially kind of the differences in local railroading, I think, too. Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely an experience. And then to kind of see that perspective of your regional area that you've grown up in forever, and then someone who's never been out here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, I mean, that's kind of my list, really. I mean, I had a short list. We kind of talked about Jason Shron for like 45 minutes of the hour and 15 minutes that we've been talking, but I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No, you'll have more space for your compilation. It'll be like 3 hours long at this rate.
Yeah, I bet. I'm just gonna say Jason Shron, Jason Shron, Jason Shron, because then it'll make my compilation longer. I'm gonna do that one day. It's gonna take me so long.
You'll get that YouTube watch time a lot faster that way.
I bet if I made one of those, it would be like the most viewed video on my channel.
Maybe people would be very confused. So maybe they couldn't click away because they don't know what they're watching.
That's true. I don't know if it's the same for you, but it'll be videos that are a bit less of a popular subject that you spend a lot more time on that get not a lot of views. Yeah, and then you'll have like a video. I had this video. I drove past the Strasburg Railroad and I just held a camera up to the window and I put some music behind it because we were talking in the car. That within the first 12 hours got like 100 views, which is more than a lot of my stuff. So
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, mine, I'm trying to remember. I have a video of like one of those ride-on CP Huntington Park trains at our local state fair, and it has something like 3,000 views, and it's from 2013, shot on a really terrible point-and-shoot Nikon. It's like 420p maybe. It's super low quality, and that's like my 4th most viewed video, I think. So it's really weird.
Okay, so I guess we can kind of bring this to an end talking about channels. What do you record with?
Yeah, right now I have a Canon SX60HS. It's kind of like a bridge camera, sort of a point and shoot with a DSLR body. I've had that for probably 2 years, just about 2 years now. Unfortunately, I haven't had made quite as many videos with college. But if you watch anything from about 2018 on, that's what that's shot on. Yeah.
I use an iPhone 11, so I'm a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, it does what you need it to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the iPhone cameras, I think, are pretty impressive, and there's a lot of people on YouTube who use it.
Yeah, especially if you get a tripod and you pay attention to lens flare. If you can do a few things, the quality's great. If you can't, then it kind of screws with it a lot. But they're kind of a make it or break it camera experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what do you see in store for the future of your channel and I guess you and the hobby overall?
Yeah.
It's a very general question.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good question though. I haven't thought about it too much just with the limited amount of time I have. I have some layout updates and stuff I'd like to shoot.
Mhm.
And I've wanted to try and do a little bit more interview stuff, and just kind of do a little more to grow the hobby, I guess.
Oh, you do interviews? I didn't know that.
I've done like 2, and I think they never really got posted, so pretty much no. But yeah,
They never came to your channel?
yeah, the closest thing I've done recently is I talked to a few friends, kind of just going over HOCL projects.
Okay.
That video is like the 3rd or 4th most recent, if you want to look at it. But yeah, that's kind of the closest thing, is that more discussion style. I would like to do more like that. It's a lot of work, as I'm sure you know. It's just getting it scheduled and spending the time and editing it. But
time to get it scheduled.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, but yeah, I think something like that. And I don't know. And I'm going to start helping with the hobby shop I help out at. We're working on starting a Facebook page and maybe an Instagram, kind of working on that a little bit too on the side. But yeah.
I do Facebook the Facebook and the website for my club. And the whole thing about Facebook is it's kind of really hard to grow. That's my opinion. Yeah. Because they really want you to pay for advertising.
Yeah, it's really weird because I know like the Facebook page, I have one for my channel. I almost never post to it. It has something like 1,200 likes for no reason at all, and I didn't even do anything. But when you post something, it'll get like 20 people maximum who've seen it.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. I think it's just the way Facebook is, but
I think my record is 30. Like, yeah, it's not a lot. And our page is like 500 likes, but at the same time, you can't get anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, it seems like that's pretty common. Even like some brand pages and stuff, it's kind of the same thing, is where they have really low engagement. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did some product reviews. Is that something you want to continue to do?
Yeah, definitely. I've done a couple on my channel. I think at this point I've done more for Model Railroad News than I've done for my channel, but it's something I enjoy. Especially the prototype research and stuff can be a lot of fun. But yeah, hopefully I have a review I'm working on of the Walthers F7s for Model Railroad News. That'll be the December issue, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything upcoming for my channel necessarily, but yeah, I'd really enjoy the product review side of things. It's neat.
Cool. That's what when I talked to him, he was really pushing me to do product reviews and model related stuff. So I think that's what I might try to do, because they're really minimal effort, but people kind of watch them if you make it entertaining, you know? So
right. Yeah, that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty big thing on YouTube for a little while, and then it kind of died down a little bit, but yeah.
That's what I feel like. James Wright really kind of brought it up from nothing. And then I don't know if he posts as much as he used to. His content quality is still good, and he's in a new studio, and he doesn't post as much because he's moving. But I feel like, in my opinion, from like watching YouTube videos, I guess, you're kind of like the next James Wright, because they're not often, but when you do reviews, like, it's a very nice format. They're short and they're constant information. Like, you never fast forward past anything.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's kind of my goal, actually. It's something I enjoy doing, even if it doesn't get very many views, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy like all the little editing stuff and such. Yeah.
What do you edit with?
Right now, I just use Pinnacle Studios. Let me see. I can't remember what version. Pinnacle Studio 19. So it's a few years old, but it works.
Yeah.
And my poor laptop, I've tried to run Premiere Pro before, and it just froze up, and the frame rate was terrible. So that's what I'm using for now, at least until I get a different computer or something someday. But
what kind of computer do you use? I'll talk about my setup. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I just have kind of a basic HP laptop. It's the same one I've had for college and stuff the past couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used iMovie until like 2 weeks ago, and it just needed to, but it really kind of, it's great to start with, and I switched to Final Cut Pro, and I run it on a MacBook Air 2017 with like the base model with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 120 storage. It works. It gets really hot, but it works. So I mean, Yeah.
That's my experience with running Macs. I do kind of production stuff at my church, and we have just a bunch of Mac Minis, and even just doing kind of like presentation software, basically like a really advanced PowerPoint. The old one we had would get really, really hot, like to the point where if you touch the top, it'd probably be like 130 degrees because the case is the heat sink. It's super weird. It just seems like Apple products get really warm.
That's what I feel like. That's what my computer is too. I don't know. I've never opened it up before, but whenever I charge it, it gets hot, and whenever in the, like one area. So I think maybe that's why the cases are metal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if that's an Apple thing, but it seems to be kind of common. It's weird.
Very odd.
Yeah.
So, wow, this has been an hour and 20 minutes of talking about Jason Shron and editing software. So, what do you kind of see in the future for you? I know I asked you this, but I kind of want to add to it. So you said you want to do more rail fanning stuff. Do you want to kind of do more product? So you said rail fanning stuff. You said layout updates and interviews. Yeah. Do you see yourself doing more product reviews? Because like you're saying, they don't get many views. But in my opinion, it's like the next James Wright, where they're a lot of information in a little bit of time and cut to the chase.
Yeah, I don't know. I've considered it. It takes me a while to get them out, just between scheduling with school and everything. I think that the last one I did on the Atlas genset model, it took me like almost 3 months to finally get around to finishing and posting it. I enjoy doing it. It's just really time consuming sometimes. Yeah, I don't know if more. I would like to maybe someday, but right now just time constraints I think are the main thing preventing that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so you do model railroader news kind of stuff?
Yeah, model railroader news. Yep.
For that?
Yeah. I write kind of 2 or 3 reviews a year for that.
How did you get into that? Like, talk about you.
Yeah. So that I had. Let's see. There was a post to the Modeler's Life fan group that Tony Cook had put out saying, "Hey, I think it was like an Atlas GP38, and he wanted to see if anyone wanted to review it." So I'd emailed him about that and sent him a link to a review I did 4 or 5 years ago. It was a Scale Trains Operator Tier 4 Gevo. And that review now holds up horribly, and the audio quality is terrible. But so he saw it and liked it enough that he was willing to let me review something. He'd already found someone to review that GP38, but he kind of gave me an option of reviewing multiple things. I ended up writing a review on Atlas, a different Atlas GP38, a Norfolk Southern one, in their Operation Lifesaver scheme. I think that was in October 2017 or 18 Model Railroad News issue, if I remember right. And after that, apparently it wasn't terrible because he was willing to let me write more reviews. That's just been something that I've gotten the opportunity to do over the last couple of years, and it's been a lot of fun.
Does he let you keep the stuff?
Yes. I don't know if that's supposed to be necessarily public, but yeah. So a lot of it, the manufacturer samples and stuff, most people who write the reviews end up keeping it, I believe.
Well, who reads contracts anyway? So whatever.
Yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, I've written a couple other things. I'm writing a guest editorial for December, and I've written, I think it was the January, February issue, somewhere around there from this year. I wrote a short write-up about that Rapido Alco PA event in Portland. That was enjoyable. It was something different to do. That was cool. Yeah.
So are you strictly just writing reviews, or do you do any kind of video review stuff?
Yeah, for Model Railroad News, it's entirely just articles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I write for our club newsletter, which is really not a big publication at all, but something. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe you could write something for Model Railroad News someday. That'd be cool. I feel like you have some writing experience.
I'll give him a sample.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is pretty much it. Unless there's anything you want to add, thank you for coming. Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you, Drew. Yeah, I was really impressed with the interviews that you've done so far, and yeah, thanks for having me on. I was
pretty impressed that they responded. So thank you.
Yeah. I think I'm a little less qualified than Lionel Strang and John Abaticola, but yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
And before you go, you said you interviewed a couple of people. So I don't know if you want to say that live, and if you don't, just say no. But who did you interview that didn't get posted?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was kind of tried to do a live stream. It was just a couple friends of mine locally who are model railroaders. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had like done somebody.
No. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No one too interesting, but yep.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Drew. Great job with the interview, by the way, and keep it up. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them.
Cool. Thank you very much. I'm trying to make it into a weekly thing available on Apple Podcasts under a name that I haven't decided yet. So
awesome. Yeah, I'll have to subscribe to that. Yeah. I'll have to come back again sometime. Maybe it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do that panel. Would be really cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try and figure something out someday.
Trying to edit though, that would be
yes. It would. Yeah, maybe we could do it on the Modeler's Life or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We need to figure out a way to bribe him somehow.
Yes. I don't know.
How do you bribe him?
That's a good question.
We need to give him another brass O-scale RS1.
Yes, just O-scale brass. Perfect.
Yeah, that's all he needs. Cool. Well, thank you very much, and we can just do a little outro for ending the broadcast live. See you later. I don't know.
Yep. It works.
Live broadcast.